Hey, you guys, because of the popular demand and a lot of really great success stories we've had with the Kauai Farmacy products, I decided to invite them again. And it also happens that it's the right time of harvest in Hawaii right now. They've got an abundance of herbs that I want to talk about. It's going to be a little bit different from the last time. We're focusing on what is in abundance right now in their farm, on their farm. And it's also very well coinciding with just the general unrest and frustration and anger and a division that I think the whole country is experiencing. There is no there is no better way to calm yourself down than I always believe it's breathing and through herbs, right? And of course, reducing your coffee, that's probably going to help a lot. Like a lot of people with anxiety attacks, like the minute you cut down on caffeine or coffee specifically, can really help. But other than that, doing breathing exercises, which you can look up my 478 technique. That's another video altogether. I really want to hone in on herbs, and it's not just any herbs. Kauai Farmacy is, I've met them probably like 8 months, 10 months ago. And, when a friend of mine was there at the farm and then they shipped me a whole bunch of products. And I will tell you, like, if you follow me for a while, you know that I don't easily get impressed with stuff. And their products are just out of this planet. Like it comes from a different planet. You can probably see them on a screen, like they're sitting in the lashness, and that lashness really speaks through that energy that is put into the herbs, into just the quality of the herbs, the taste that you find, is the after effect, that the effect that it has on you is just amazing. So I will say I am completely addicted to your teas. And when I welcome today Doug and Genna, who are the founders of the pharmacy, how you guys?
Good, Magdalena. Thank you.
I am always so jealous. Like when I look at your stuff, like your garden, I'm like, can I just come and camp at your place for like a month and work for free? And so, we had a big storm here in Colorado just about 2, 3 weeks ago. We had a big snow dump. And so everybody with tomatoes and basils and herbs had to find a way to quickly process all of that food before it gets destroyed. And so I quickly, instead of trying to use the herbs fresh, I just basically dehydrated everything. So many of you have asked me about the dehydration spec that I had in the house. It's like this really nice thing. Anyway, we can post that later. But the cool thing is that the quality of these herbs was so profoundly better, so much richer, energetically charged, and the flavor was just bursting. And so there's a difference. There's such a big difference when you get something from your own garden that you really care for, which is nutritionally dense. You care about the kind of stuff that you put in the soil, what it grows next to, right? Versus the stuff that you buy from the supermarket, even if it's organic. And so I remember tasting, like smelling, my organic basil and then the basil that I've just harvested from my garden. And oh my God, what a vast difference it was. It was like smelling, I don't know, furniture, ground up furniture versus like having that burst of all the constituents in a nose. So anyway, enough of me talking. I want to talk about the calming effects of the different herbs. And guys, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's growing right now in your farm? What are you really proud of? And just walk us through. Maybe let's start off with the teas, because I'm infusing a tulsi tea here right now. I've got the potion here going on. I just can't decide which one I like better. I'm literally addicted to this stuff. I feel like my day doesn't have the same meaning without having that. I'm more of an afternoon tea drinker. And by the way, these teas are not caffeinated, so I'm not drinking them for caffeine or a kick. So why don't you just tell us a little bit more about your stuff? And by the way, Hormones Balance community loves you. People who've got your products from the past just absolutely loved it. That's why I thought I'll have you guys here again. So what's going on?
So, what's abundant in the gardens right now? Wow, that's a loaded question. This is the time of the year. Things are just going boom. The flowers, the produce, it's just spectacular. The honeybees are having their way with all the flowers. I would say tulsi is our most prolific herb right now in the gardens, and this is just a really, really good season. We're having a massive amount of harvest right now on that front, and that is a wonderful adaptogenic herb, good for calming the respiratory, the digestion. It's a highly circulatory herb. We have lemon balm going big right now as well. That's another calming herb that we were.
Can I just
talking
stop you on tulsi just for 1 second? I don't want to spend too much time on it. This is definitely one of my favorite teas. I mean, your tea just tastes divine. Can you just tell us what is the difference between the different species that is in tulsi? So you guys have here the whole shebang of Vana, Kapoor, Rama, and Krishna from all the different varieties. Can you tell a little bit more? Oh, we're saying people are saying they can't hear. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
Is it us?
No. Can you guys hear me? I'm asking you guys, Doug and Genna. You can hear us, yeah. Let me just take a quick look on Facebook and see what's going on. Whether it's just a, hey, you guys, you can't hear me, or you can't hear anybody. Let's just take a quick look at this. We've never had that kind of problem on this page.
We have someone in the office here that can hear it okay.
They're hearing both of us on the live stream. On Facebook, yeah. On Facebook. Our team is listening on the live stream and they can hear both of us.
Okay, so I'm hoping that this is a guys, Doug and so I think it's an isolated case, you guys. So if you're having a problem listening or hearing us, then what I'll suggest is just close your browser and restart it. Sorry about that. Okay, so back to tulsi and the different species that you have. Why do you do that? What are the differences between them?
Okay, so tulsi is known in Ayurvedic medicine as the elixir of life. It's a holistic herb in itself, and it has amazing properties to it and constituents to help with the nervous system and also our circulatory system and our digestive system as well. And the varieties of them are a little bit different. The one that we grow that grows really, really well here is the Vana. And we have the African variety and the Indian variety. And those are more like a voluptuous leaf. They have a little bit more of a fine hair on them. And they grow to be quite big if you allow them to. We like to keep them tame and cut back. And that makes like a really solid base of a tea. Like I said, it's more of a neuroprotective tea. So it helps with those neuro receptors, which basically every one of our cells has. Mm-hmm. So, for example, like when your adrenals are overtaxed, when you're in this fight or flight, scenario, and unfortunately in our modern day with all the stimulation and all the different things that we have coming at us, and there's a lot of fear and anxiety and stress and all this buildup, our adrenals are actually being taxed quite a bit, more than our ancestral days when, maybe a rhinoceros was coming in to attack us. And we had to shut down certain systems like our kidneys or, our liver, detoxification functions in order to address that situation, that intense stress, right? So the Vana is really, really good at quelling that. The Krishna is probably one of the most medicinal out of the tulsis. It's the holiest of the holy basils, and I think it has a larger concentration of eugenol in it. That's more antiseptic, antifungal, antibacterial, and so it just is a little bit more concentrated, so you need less of it for this really, really amazing impact on your lymphatic system. And we also have Rama, Kapoor, Amrita, all these different lovely varieties, and each has a different flavor. Some have more of an airy floral flavor. Some have more of that anise hyssop, licoricey kind of Flavors delicious.
Yeah.
And so what has happened here on the farm is that we have bees that are cross pollinating between all of the different varieties and now creating hybrids as well. So our tulsi blend that we have is when you see tulsi, it's not a singular tulsi that we have in our blend. It's has more layers to that. It has a lot more depth. And as a result of that, the biodiversity of those minerals and those compounds are going to be passed on, and to basically strengthen your immune system and allow it to have the integrity it's meant to do in cases of viral conditions, bacterial conditions, and allaying those pathogens from kind of breeding within a more acidic environment, since tulsi is very, very alkalizing. So
Yeah.
very, very healthy herb for us.
So, I mean, it's an amazing herb, and I think it depends on the person. I mean, some people just feel like just having the tea is very powerful. Others feel like they need something a little bit stronger, and I love the fact that you guys have made it into a tincture. I don't have that tincture here with me, but you have it, and so that's part of the calming protocol. Hey, you guys! So I just posted the link to the teas and tinctures. So you can grab it from there, and Hormones Balance community gets 15% off. There's a code there, I think Balance 15 or something. Is written on the website. So just use that to grab that discount, and that's valid for a week. So is that
different varieties.
Okay.
Yeah, these are different varieties of tulsi that we have. We just made a couple little bundle bouquets for you guys to see today.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, one
super
of
aromatic.
the things I would love for you guys to talk about is the difference between biodynamic farming and what you're doing versus like a traditional organic, when there's monocrops going on. Can you talk a little bit about what these plants are doing for each other? Like, why do you plant them together? What's the benefit of doing that? Because I think this is like the bigger picture. I think no matter what you get from Kauai Farmacy, I think the taste is a representation of the constituents that it contains, right? And you obviously excel at that. Can you just tell us a little bit more about like how does this work?
So we're kind of refining the process at every level. We're a vertically integrated herbal medicine farm. So what that means is we actually grow the herbs. We grow the herbal medicine, and it's very rare that you can purchase herbal medicine in fully crafted, packaged, and delivered from, we call it seed to cup, from the farm, from the producer. In doing so, we're able to take each aspect of the herbalism system. We're able to take it to the next level. So in the case of the farming and biodiverse farming, trust me, we have so much to learn. But in the case of biodiverse farming, we've learned that diversity is what creates immune systems. And it brings me back to the tulsi conversation of the different varieties. One of the reasons why we grow so many different varieties is because the immune system of the gardens is that much stronger. And as a result, your immune system in these teas that we make, when there's diversity, both in the gardens but also in your medicine, you're essentially reaching out to more diverse vitamins and minerals, and your immune system is growing. So often, people are trying to create a linear equation or a linear connection between a symptom, and a solution. And it's so, as gardeners, we know that that's not the case. It's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of airflow. It's a little bit of what you're feeding it. It's a little bit of what plants you're growing around it. And in the end, diversity is probably the simplest answer to it all. So again, diversity in the gardens, and that's different than the monocrop system where you see rows and rows of the same plant. So in the case of ashwagandha, like in our love potion, you'll see rows and rows of ashwagandha. Well, ashwagandha is stripping the soil or receiving vitamins and minerals from the soil of a certain elk, right, of a certain kind. And if you continue to farm that soil with the same plants over and over again, it will eventually be void of the same ingredients that you reached out for at the beginning. And it's the truth in the cacao industry and on the Ivory Coast. It's the truth in so many industries where when we give people cacao, which is also in our love potion, they don't recognize, you know, the magnesium and the manganese that's in that cacao. So we grow cacao amongst a diverse setting. So cacao, which is what they make chocolate out of, it's grown in a diverse setting, and we're using the immune system of this diverse garden system, which again is no more complicated or complex or sophisticated than backyard gardening. There's words like regenerative farming, there's words like biodynamic farming, there's words like permaculture that certainly add other layers and systems, and hopefully we can, you know, educate our young in these more kind of hip aspects of farming. But, you know, the backyard gardener was all about that diversity. And again, it's all about, the one more thing I wanted to add, and, you know, you reminded me with your backyard garden and the herbs that you took and enjoyed them so much is the freshness, right? So one thing that we're able to do is we're able to deliver the freshness. And people say, why does your tea drink, you know, why does it taste so good? And the truth is they've never drank fresh tea in their whole life. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was here and I that came to I concluded that. I was like, what's going on with me? And I did what you did. Was I was addicted to the feeling of cleaning myself at the same time, nourishing myself, and then the self-awareness that was brought in by the herbs, right?
Yeah.
Because you're reaching out to those vitamins and minerals, and to have that kind of keen self-awareness that's it's so
I
unique
literally
to the
feel,
herbs.
I mean, the taste of your teas. Hey guys, so the taste of the teas are insane. Like I think this is the best word to describe. It's like, it's out of this word, like nothing you've ever tried before. And, you know, and it's just the amount of freshness, but it's also energetically, because one of the things that we learn in herbalism is to kind of like close your eyes, and we call it be with an herb. And then you ingest that tea and you keep really quiet. You just completely shut up, right? You don't think about anything. And you just let the herb speak and see and how your body responds to it. And it's really fascinating how I just, like, every time I have one of your teas, I feel like my body is just like flooded with these nutrients, and my whole body starts vibrating. And especially so, like in a good way. I'm not talking about like a vibration from like the way you might get from, you know, being over caffeinated, right? But it's like you know, it's almost like a mitochondrial kind of vibrations of energy, of just feeling super energized. So if you like a good cup of tea in the morning, in the afternoon, even if you're still drinking caffeinated drinks, it doesn't really matter. It's just having something in the afternoon, in the evening, in the mornings, you can do it anytime. These teas are just phenomenal. Can we talk a little bit about we talked about tulsi, and then the other one I really want to talk about is women's wellness. What's in it? And this is another insanely good one. I'm drinking this here as well. This is I actually, you know what I do? I make like a whole jar of it, like a quart, and I typically finish half a quart a day. So I basically brew it every other day. Let it infuse for about 3-4 hours, and I just feel like that's when it tastes the best. It gets the stuff out of the roots that are in here. So tell us more about what's in here. How did you formulate it, and what are the benefits of drinking this tea?
Okay, so the women's wellness tea is obviously going to be a really, really amazingly hormone balancing tea for women. Why we focus on the endocrine system and the hormones and the glands in this blend is because so much of our energetic field is constructed and construed by our emotional well-being as well as our physiological well-being. And this is a really balanced tea for that. At the base of it is a very special herb, which is near and dear. I have a huge affinity to it, and that is the chaste, otherwise known as the vitex agnus cassis plant. And the vitex agnus cassis plant is renowned for balancing hormones and helping to soothe the reproductive organs, and also just really address like the hypothalamus, the pituitary, everything throughout our entire glandular system. That helps us with our monthly moon cycles, the onset of our menstruation, when we are just getting it, when we're younger, and then all the way up into our more mature years during our menopausal years.
Well, can I just add on to this? So in Germany, even traditional doctors, when they see a woman who is going through hot flashes, or is has problems with miscarriages or can't get pregnant, the first line of defense is prescribing chasteberry, vitex. That's like, it's covered by insurance. And part of it is there's a lot of, there's like 5 solid studies in Germany that connect vitex to progesterone production, which is often the reason why we are having hot flashes, why we are having miscarriages, and because progesterone is progestation, right? But also, like, a lot of our communities are 45 to 65, so fertility is not the issue, but hot flashes are. So when will women's wellness be back in stock is the question. Luciana is asking. Are you guys out of stock?
Hey, Ben.
Ben, how's our stock on women's? Can you find that out? We're getting an answer for you right now.
Yeah, it should be right now. We're chaste berry is happening, so we have two flushes, actually 2 harvests, and we have our second harvest right now. And the plant is just absolutely beautiful. It's it goes purple and white, and then it goes into, you know, a dried berry. And we probably have about 20 plants that are going off right now on the farm.
Just so you know, your website does say it's out of stock.
Yeah, and I know we have. There's an herb in there.
Let's see if we can get this on there.
Is that the chaste berry?
That's the chaste flower. It's going to berry. So if you look at it closely,
just trying to show.
And there is an issue sometimes where it doesn't actually get to berry, and this. There are no berries on this right now.
Hey, you guys, so if you're interested in women's wellness, it looks like it's out of stock right now. But you can put in your email in there, and they'll email you when the product is back in stock. So are you guys saying it should be soon?
Hang on one second, Magdalena. We're just getting our audio back on.
We're losing the cord.
So I'm going to speak, even though they're fixing the audio.
Yeah.
Can they hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Do you know when? Yeah. When is the tea going to be back in stock? Do you know?
Sorry, everybody.
Okay,
Okay, we're back. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I was so excited I had to go grab this chasteberry plant. So this is the Vitex Agnes castus while she's in bloom, and she makes these voluptuous clusters of these violet, purple, conical flower clusters, and then there's these little, the leaves as well are also medicinal, and they usually have like 5 or 6 leaves on there. And this is known as monk's pepper as well. And in any case, this is, because you mentioned a certain demographic that might have an interest in this. This is one you might want to really get to know, ladies, because this is the helper with like anyone who has like estrogen dominance in their life, thyroid issues, hot flashes, and symptoms from going into those mature years when we're transitioning hormonally speaking. And it's had great success for many, many women, all stages of life. So
and when you, can I ask you, when you use it in a tea, do you use it do you use the flowers, the leaves, or the berries?
Good question. So this is going to flower right now, and then she's going to go to berry. And these berries, they look like little peppercorns. They're like, when they're turned from green to like a purplish kind of more deep plum color, that's when we harvest them, and that's when she's most fertile. That's when they're most potent. So we actually use the berries, and we also use the leaves as well. So I'm just naming like a couple of things that this plant is really good for. But as Magdalena probably has already shared with you, hormones like being regulated are addressed such an enormous amount of issues. So what may be one imbalance could be just a glandular imbalance, and you may not even link those two, but when you start consuming the tea, you'll start to see things change. And as the body alkalizes and as the estrogen and progesterone start to like get a little more balanced in the body, then you're going to start to see other things that you may just be living with and thinking, oh, this is
normal.
Just normal.
Yeah.
Exactly. You get comfortable in your discomfort sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's the plants, like Doug was saying earlier, that awaken you. It's just it heightens your sensory system to and calms the nervous system, right? So, which I think are kind of one and the same, right? The sensory system is really, we shouldn't have a nervous system. There's no need to be nervous. There's always something we can do about things. But
by the way, Dakari is saying I've bought their teas for the past few years and they are amazing.
oh,
So
thank you.
I just shared that on the screen. So let me I think we were interrupted when I was asking the question, when is the tea going to be back in stock? Because folks are asking.
So it
did
actually
you get a
it
stack
does
in
move
stock
very
tea?
quickly. It's one of our, if not our best selling tea. We yeah.
Okay. Okay, are they on stock on the website right now? Can people buy them right now?
She said they're out of stock. They should be in stock to an extent, so they will move quickly. If you look at our testimonials on the chaste, it's just unbelievable how much success we've had with it. What also is found is helps so much, like it's a very sobering plant. So what it helps is it helps with urges. So it helps really refine your diet and really like I mentioned, when you sober yourself up to your diet and to your lifestyle as it relates to everything from your relationships to your rest to your diet to the air you breathe to the water you drink. The chaste it will force you to continue to refine that, and it's not always like you kind of got to go through the process with the chaste. It does take many months to some people will have dramatic impact right away, but it's one of those plants that it's from Ayurvedic medicine, originated and in that medicinal lifestyle, they say 6 months of using chaste is kind of a good time period in which to be on it to kind of get through those lifestyle experiences. But like I said, a very sobering plant, and that process isn't always the most fun to sober up to your lifestyle, but in the same time, there's big rewards from it.
Awesome. Let's switch gears a little bit towards tinctures, and I know you guys got a few there. Your tinctures are amazing. They are. I mean, they are. There is a strong sense of alcohol. There's no doubt about that. So you can taste the ethanol for people who are former alcoholics or who are avoiding alcohol together. This might not be a good fit, but it's a very potent tinctures. So do you want to talk a little bit about the different tinctures you guys got that you recommend for calming? And in case you were missing out earlier, we are talking today about herbs that are calming, that are helping rebalance the hormonal system. We are living through times right now. They are everybody's super hyperactive, pissed off, disappointed, regardless of which side of the political spectrum you're on. Which division you belong to, whether you're for or against, whatever, everybody seems to be really angry. So we decided to do a very sort of, add on these adjuncts to your life that really help you calm things down. So we covered tea. That's great. Hey, you guys, the link is up above. I'll post it again where to get the teas. And for the women's wellness, is that coming back, you guys?
So the women's wellness will be coming back into stock. We make small batches here because we make everything fresh. That keeps it potent and effective. You can see she's in flower right now, and when she goes back to berry, we'll be doing another harvest.
Yeah.
And if you can't get it online right now, if you go to the product page, there's a little link there, and it just says, "We're in stock.
Just put it on.
We're in stock."
So there's
Okay.
to give you an idea of what we do. There's 3 pounds made right now, and we do have chasteberry harvested. But that's the idea of small batch. That's the idea of freshness that you're getting. And you just got to sign up for your email as regards to getting notified when it does come back in stock. The women's wellness is one that kind of moves quickly. So
yeah. So if you guys, if you want it out of stock, you can always put your email in and we'll notify you.
Right. And bottom line is, so they have it back in stock. If you want it, grab it now because it's a very small batch. Okay, so let's talk about the tinctures, and I'm gonna pop. So this is which one do you want to start off with?
I was gonna start off with Gotu Kola just to switch gears a little bit.
That's what I've got right here.
Oh, we're vibing.
Yes.
We're totally okay. This is good. Okay, So the Gotocola, Centella asiatica, is the botanical name for it. And I don't want to like ruin the audio again because I keep doing that. But I don't know if you can see this or if it's not. But in the doctrine of signatures, the plant looks like what it's good for. And in this case, the leaves are indicative of a brain. And if you look at it, there's like two hemispheres, and then all the veins are this neurological kind of pathways. And then if I was to show you the stem right here, it's a very long stem, kind of suggestive of our spinal column. So I love herbs. I love Mother Nature. She designs everything to look like what it's good for. So serious brain food here. This is the longevity herb. And rightfully so. This is going to help with cognitive function, with mental clarity. And a lot of the times, you know, as we're going through hormonal like transitions, we might experience some mental fog. And so this is a really great one for that. What I love most about this is that it is super, super good for the central nervous system and calming that breath that we talked about earlier, which is so important in healing. It's our life force. It's kind of like overlooked and underappreciated. So when we can support that through our metabolic activity, like maybe with a tincture, we'll be able to calm that and get that into alignment so that we can be optimally performing as humans. So I love this. It's a nervine, and so it's going to just help keep that breath balanced, whether it's on a subconscious level or if you're aware of it.
So I wanna share with you. I had a really interesting experience with Gotocola. It wasn't yours, but with the herb itself. I didn't have your tinctures back then, and I wish I did. You know, so I went back to school to become an herbalist. I really knew a lot about stuff about herbal, but I wanted to kind of solidify it and have like a proper certification and all of that. And it's really hard when you run, you know, a 7-figure business to go back to school full time. It really is, you know, and it's not fair to the team. It's not. And I had a dog that was just like still a puppy. He needed a lot of attention, and you know, and so it was super stressful of being in school in the evenings, doing weekend projects to comply with all the requirements. And so, you know, so two things what was happening. One is a sense of anxiety of going like, there's so many other things I'd rather do this weekend. I'm not getting any exercise. I'm not blah, 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 you know, all that kind of the chatter. And on the other hand, I was like, you know, you gotta study and sit for exams and cram out and do all those projects. And I felt like there's only so much of green tea that I want to drink in a day, you know, because after a while, it's just like, you just start crashing. It just doesn't work anymore. And this is where Gotocola came in. I remember there was a project I did on Gotocola, and I thought, you know, instead of just writing about it, just do it. And it was so phenomenal. I need higher doses of herbs for them to make it work for me. So for example, I'll do like 3 dropfuls of Gotocola, not a drop or 2. I'm just that kind of constitution, but it's also a reminder for folks. Like you always want to start off with 1 drop and just see how your body reacts to it. How is your energetically, how do you connect with that herb before you go higher? I need like 3 dropfuls. And I was doing that sometimes even up to 6 or 9 a day, you know, in the course of a weekend just to get through the studies and just feel. And I have to tell you, I think Gotocola has helped me complete the project and still graduate on top of my class and do well and benefit from it as much as I have. One is just calming it down, saying, shut the hell up. It's only going to be 1 year of doing this kind of intense work. And number 2 is just giving that mental power just to pull through it, you know, and still be able to run a successful business and be present for my team. So I have a huge sense of gratitude for Gotocola for helping me sail through this.
Yeah, just as a great story, and just to add to it, the Gotocola, it's a regenerative herb, so we actually would chew it up, the leaf, just to give you an idea of its powers, and just put it on a cut, and it's one of the first, after yarrow, if there's a lot of bleeding, we'll put the yarrow on, but Gotocola would be the second one, so it regenerates skin, and you're seeing it a lot in a lot of the hair and skin creams
interesting.
and stuff that are out there now, so people are using it for.
No wonder my skin was so beautiful when I was going through school.
Regeneration.
So you could use it topically as well.
And then the other thing I would add is
Sorry,
it's
you're
kind
also
of a
asking how do you spell it. So you spell it
G O T
Gotu.
U K O L A.
2 words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And then
this is the tincture. This is the
that's the
tincture, you
tincture.
guys, and you can
Yep.
find it on the website that I posted.
And it's also in our Love Potion tea, and I believe it's in our Vitality. So it's kind of in there more homeopathically, small amounts, because it is such a small plant, But the idea with these plants, it's like the monks they supposedly live till 200 years old, living off this plant, living off gotu kola, is kind of some of the stories that you read on this plant. So it's also renowned as the longevity herb. So
Fascinating.
one of those herbs that teaches presence, but also in the context of longevity.
Very
And
cool.
also, on that note, because, I just want to remind everybody that, there's no one hit wonder with herbs, they're creative. So I appreciate what you said, Magdalena, because I have the same high tolerance for herbs. But I think that's because I consume so much of them. So I feel like I need more to have the same impact as like Doug. I think you have a very heightened sensory system, so he feels them pretty quickly as well. So on that note, everybody's body constitution is different. So don't be discouraged. Do 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day. By day 6, your body is going to start to really trigger, and those micro shifts can start happening. And you may see them, you may not see them. They could be just really micro. And really, where the longevity part of the reason that came up to me was because this is the longevity, is because it's taking them consistently over time that you can really achieve those bigger shifts that you're looking for. And so I just wanted to let everybody know, there's a lot of patience, awareness, and then just kind of tuning into those little idiosyncrasies that you can change within your lifestyle, like things that are completely within our
Control,
doing.
yeah. And
we can
I'm
control
grateful
it.
you said that, because one of the things with herbs, is it's also good to remember is that herbs are not like prescription medications that you take it and you get an effect like within 20 minutes, right? I mean, some herbs you can, depending on how sensitive you are, but a lot of times you've gonna make something like your women's wellness a daily tea in order to start feeling the benefits of raising progesterone and rebalancing estrogen. But it's so delicious, just easy to make. And with tinctures, is the same thing. So give herbs a chance by making that as a daily protocol. Don't expect results instantly, because sometimes it just doesn't. Your body just needs a little bit longer. Hey, you guys, let's shift gears a little bit and towards lemon balm.
Lemon balm, yes, lemon balm tincture. Here we go. So this is Sweet Melissa, right?
Sweet Melissa it is.
Melissa officinalis right here. Another wonderful nervine, and this is in the Lamiaceae family. So it has a very, very soothing, kind of a soothing of our neurons, and it's a neuroprotective. So it's going to help us to also maintain calm, relaxation. But why I love lemon balm is because, especially Magdalena, you just mentioned, these are high anxiety times, a lot of stresses on top of your existing stresses that we may have internally in our lifestyle. And this one is an antidepressant as well. So it helps with depression and helping to induce a little bit of a more even-keeled mood. And that can just be the little bit of lift that we need to overcome certain things, or calm us to get to the next step to better a situation if we're in something that's maybe a little bit more of an intense conversation, or maybe it's in a relationship, maybe it's physical stress, mental stress. Stress comes in so many different variables, some very, very blatantly obvious, and then some really subtle, like within our food sources.
So one of the things I also want to share about lemon balm is that you might find it in many sleep aid formulas, herbal formulas, and it's not a sedative. It's not like valerian or passionflower. It actually might knock you out. Hops, it's actually make you feel sleepy. Lemon balm is added in there to these formulations. We use that too in ours, is to calm down your thoughts. And it's not. There's no point in knocking somebody out to sleep when your brain is running crazy and you've got all these things you're worried about, right? So that's another thing. Like if you're finding yourself really having a crazy running brain right before going to sleep, and that's what it prohibits you from falling asleep, or you're waking up in the middle of the night, lemon balm is just a wonderful way, herb to calm you down in such a great way. Let's see what Laura is saying. Laura is saying, I grew lemon balm in my garden this year, dried it, haven't tried it, but looking forward to it. Thanks for talking about it. Yeah, absolutely. Great. We've got a lot of folks who ordered your women's wellness. We're just waiting for the gates to open, and lemon balm from Angela. Awesome. Great, Angela. Make sure you get the 15% off. What else do you guys, what else would you like to talk about? Let's do this for another 3 to 4 minutes. I'll have to start wrapping up.
Okay. We have one more. I think we had the liloquoi tincture here somewhere amongst, maybe we don't have it, maybe you have it. But the liloquoi tincture, because you mentioned the passion flowers, we have the variety, it's the Passionflower quadrangularis. Very, very special variety. And we chose to grow this one amongst like gosh, I don't even know, hundreds and hundreds of different varieties due to its really, really calming nature. It's a pain reliever. It's a muscle relaxer. It helps with sleep. It's mostly a restorative nervine. And I think in this day and age, with all the overstimulation that we have with our technology and just the sugars in the foods and all these different erratic, mood conditioning that we have from the hormones and being in balance, I think this is a really, really special herb, the liloquoi, because it really takes you into a mental calm that helps to just like kind of calm all the systems. This one a little bit different than lemon balm, which is going to help with like the adrenal fatigue and like really like help with like that overtaxed adrenal system. I think the liloquoi is a little bit different, as it will help to induce a restful night's sleep. And by that I mean when you're sleeping, even though you're sleeping through the night, you may not have like an actual consecutively like peaceful rest through the night. So these consecutive hours of sleep are very, very important to the body's ability to recalibrate itself. There's a lot of work that's still happening in our subconscious mind when we're sleeping that helps us when we wake up in the morning and actually produces more of an energetic field for us when we wake up. So we're more energized. We're the coffee nation, right? So everybody wakes up after a long night's sleep and then they're like reaching for that cup of joe in the morning. But truth be known, if you really had a restful night's restorative sleep, you wouldn't need that lift. You wouldn't need that caffeine.
So we have questions. Absolutely. I agree with you. And, combining with sugar, combining with caffeine, lack of sleep, COVID, having kids at home, political thing going on, everybody fighting on Facebook. If it wasn't for the fact that we do so much work through Facebook, like I would completely unsubscribe from it because it's just an anxiety causing source. It used to be like a source of connection and fun and education, a lot of great pieces. Right now, everybody's just fighting with each other. All of that contributes to that. So either get off Facebook or get some herbs or do both. I don't know. Everybody's asking, what are you talking about in terms of that herb? So I just posted that. It's called lilikoi. Can you just, is this a more like a Hawaiian herb? Because I haven't heard of that before.
So it's passionflower, also known as passionflower.
Okay.
Okay. Lilikoi. So yeah, passionflower. So you mentioned it certainly is a little more potent than something like lemon balm. I view lemon balm as more of a elixir type of daily medicinal, where I think with the lilikoi it's going to be a lot stronger, a lot more potent. So yeah, like you said, start with maybe less is more, like a drop or two, and then move into it. But what we do find here is the restorative nature of it. So again, the idea of it, it's not just about the acute symptom, but about the long-term experience of having lilikoi in your life or passion flower, like I said, to slow you down. We dry the flower itself, and that's, or in this case, it's fresh flower that goes into the tincture make. But it's also in our tranquility. So if you wanted something that was a little bit more holistic in nature, is the tranquility. That is this tea is designed around the passionflower or lilikoi, and then the tincture itself is, and what the tinctures are designed to do is one, convenience, but two, potency for one single herb. So we're not able to give you tranquil passionflower in a dried tea form, just that one flower. We just don't have enough of it. But what we can do is give it to you in a tincture form because we have enough of it. So again, convenience and then access to the single herb, where the tranquility is going to give you kind of more holistic experience of all of our super calming herbs. Is our tranquility.
Yeah, and a lot of times people are asking, what's the difference between a tea and a tincture? And really, tincture is just like a super concentrated version of the herb. Tea, on the other hand, I feel like it's a really wonderful ritual that you can make every day, and especially when you combine it with other herbs, it's just really quite wonderful. But if you really want like a quick go-to and you're traveling somewhere, probably not likely right now, but or you don't have the time for tea every single time, then having a tincture on hand is really helpful. So it's not one is better than the other. It's just they're kind of complementing each other. Awesome. Hey, you guys, it was so lovely to have you. Thank you for setting everything up. I'm always so inspired looking at your garden and thinking like, I could never grow this in Colorado. But we have some biodynamic farms here, and I've been to a few, and it's just so inspiring to see how much richer they are and what they produce that other farms just can't do, and how they take on arid land and they convert it into like these, Colorado version of paradise. And it's just so inspiring. And you're doing that as well. And it's just we need more people like you to do this. And I can't wait to travel to Hawaii again. I hear they are lifting off the ban. You just have to get tested for COVID to come and visit. So I'm kind of like thinking of December. So.
Oh, cool.
Stay tuned.
Awesome.
Great. Well, thank you for having us. Appreciate it very much.
Yes, mahalo nui, you guys. We're so grateful.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you for your lovely questions. And the website address is posted all around the comments. So just scroll up and take a look at it where you can order, and I'll add that into the message as well. All right. Thanks, everybody, and be well. Talk to you soon.
Aloha.
Bye.
Aloha.